News at 6.
We'll see you then.
That's a good point. On World News Tonight this Friday, the relentless Hurricane George. Today it hits the Florida Keys, and it isn't done yet. A ray of hope for cold weather misery. 2 new drugs to fight the flu virus itself. And what a baseball season for the big leagues and the little.
From ABC News World Headquarters in New York, this is World News Tonight with Peter Jennings.
Good evening. Hurricane George rolls on. Every day this week, if there was an island in George's way, George took it on. And today, as projected, the Florida Keys were right in its path. This was the scene in Marathon, Florida, as the storm hit today. This evening, George, having done this, is moving out into the Gulf of Mexico in the direction of the Gulf Coast. Alabama, Louisiana, and the Florida Panhandle may well be part of its future. Our first report from the field tonight is about the Florida Keys. ABC's Jim Williams has spent the day in Key West.
Hurricane George first hit the Florida Keys slowly. And this morning, some residents who stayed here had no respect for the storm.
It's not so bad. I mean, we've been all right.
But as the day progressed, George gained power and began pounding the string of tiny islands with 100-mile-an-hour winds. In Key West, trees were uprooted, roofs were sheared off, traffic lights were shattered, and houseboats were destroyed. Now, some people were scared.
I tell you the truth, I will never stay again on one of these. I didn't think it was going to be this bad.
At this grade school, residents streamed in seeking shelter as the hurricane intensified. It is mid-afternoon and the hurricane has reached its peak in the Keys. For the first time today, we have torrential rain. So along with wind damage, there is now the serious threat of flooding. Some roads were impassable. It was so bad, police officers were called back to their stations. On the west coast of Florida, hundreds of miles from the Keys, preparations are underway for the hurricane.
A mandatory evacuation notice has been put forth for this area.
Marco Island is evacuating. George is not finished. Jim Williams, ABC News, Key West, Florida.
George is not finished, but we know how bad the damage has been already. In the Dominican Republic, it will take a very long time to recover. ABC's Juju Chang is there.
The hurricane laid waste to major sectors of the Dominican economy, one already among the poorest in the Western Hemisphere. More than 300 people are dead or missing in flash flooding and mudslides. Trees look like dominoes knocked over as far as the eye can see. 70% of Dominican forests have been leveled. Roughly 2/3 of the country's electrical poles are on the ground. The country is destroyed, he says. We need help. We need the U.S. to help us. The Dominican Republic is in ruins. People here are still struggling to get basic necessities. Fresh food is hard to come by. There's no running water, no phone lines, no electricity, no television. But despite all the destruction, nearly everyone in this baseball-obsessed nation is frantic to try and watch native son Sammy Sosa play ball. San Pedro de Macorís used to have Sammy's name all over it. Now it's marked by Hurricane George. The schools where he donated computers, battered. The ball fields he built for local kids, torn apart. Nuri Castro's home was swept away. Nothing was left, she said, nothing but the floor. For Nuri Castro and the roughly 100,000 people whose homes were destroyed, it is a monumental task just to fight their way out from under the rubble. Juju Chang, ABC News, Santo Domingo, the Dominican Republic.
Now, some of the other news. In Washington today, we learned that President Clinton's lawyers are negotiating with lawyers for Paula Jones about a possible financial settlement. Jones' sexual harassment case against the president, before it was dismissed in April, is where Monica Lewinsky's name first came to light. The president rejected a chance to settle that case some time ago, but of course things are now quite different. Here's ABC's Jackie Judd.
The first move to settle the case came a couple of weeks ago when Paula Jones's lawyers proposed $1 million settlement. Significantly, they dropped the demand that Mr. Clinton apologize to Jones, which had blocked earlier attempts to settle. After years of insisting an apology was essential, Jones and her lawyers decided money was enough.
If a substantial amount of money is paid in this case towards some type of settlement, that's a tacit admission that the case is not bogus, as the president indicated in his grand jury testimony.
2 days ago, Mr. Clinton's attorney, Bob Bennett, made a counteroffer of about $500,000. Each side has reason to settle now. Jones's husband is out of work, and with 2 children, they need the money. And the case has always been perceived as a hard one to win. The president wants to shut this down, according to an advisor, as part of the overall effort to get past the current crisis. Without a settlement, the president faces the real possibility that the sexual harassment case would be reopened by the Court of Appeals. More immediately, Jones's lawyers are threatening to ask that Mr. Clinton be cited for contempt for misleading statements he made during his deposition in the case. If that goes forward, witnesses could be called. Witnesses like Monica Lewinsky, as well as other women who were questioned about relations with the president and who might offer potentially damaging testimony. So, will it happen now? Both sides are cautioning that a lot could still go wrong, but the motivation to settle seems stronger than ever before. Peter?
Thank you very much, Jackie Judd in Washington this evening. When we come back, we'll have some of the day's other news. Taking the fight out of the flu, new drugs to feel better sooner, and a golden season in the majors and beyond.
This is World News Tonight with Peter Jennings. Brought to you by Charles Schwab.
Someday I'd like a slightly larger house. Security for my kids, maybe even a little bit for retirement. All right, a lot.
Schwab's Mutual Fund OneSource gives you access to hundreds of no-load funds. And our valuable tools can help you build your portfolio. Call now for our free select list.
Because part of setting a goal is finding a way to reach it.
This is for
anyone who looks at things differently.
This is for the green light.
This is for Saturday night.
This is for people who want to be noticed.
This is for your dreams.
This is Pontiac driving excitement.
Now, drive more of it at the Pontiac 98 Sell-Down with 0.9% APR financing or up to $2,750 cash back on select 98 models. More reason than ever to see all the great 98 Sell-Down values at your Pontiac dealer today.
This is for me.
For
me.
Want to color your gray beard or mustache and look natural? Get Just for Men Gel.
You look so natural, no one can tell with Just for Men Gel.
Brush in and in 5 minutes, gray is gone.
No one can tell with Just for Men Gel.
As we head into the first official weekend of the fall, there is important news about the dread disease of winter. 2 new drugs to fight the worst of the flu are showing great promise. And 40 million Americans get the flu every year. Here's ABC's Ned Potter.
The flu makes its victims miserable, and it can kill 10 to 40,000 Americans a year. Vaccines are good prevention, but if you get sick, the best most doctors can do is suggest aspirin and fluids. The 2 new medications should fight the virus itself.
Most flu treatments that doctors use today are designed to treat the symptoms. This is a medication that actually treats the cause of the symptoms, the virus replication.
The treatments are called Relenza and GS4104. One's a pill, the other's inhaled. Tests showed they shortened the flu's duration 25 to 40% if taken early enough, and in one trial, reduced the number of complications, such as bronchitis, by 50%. The main issue now is getting them out there. Doctors say that at best, they could be ready late next year. Ned Potter, ABC News, New York.
In California today, researchers have announced a new vaccine which they say will protect children from several diseases. They are very encouraged about the clinical trials. But the news raises a question. Do children automatically need another vaccine? Here's ABC's John McKenzie.
Most children in this country are injected with at least 10 different vaccines. Now, some doctors seem eager to add yet another, this new pneumococcal vaccine.
It's one of the most important, if not the most important, vaccines that has been developed in the last 10 years.
The vaccine appears to prevent the most dangerous form of pneumococcal disease called bacterial meningitis. It also might help prevent pneumonia and middle ear infection. While few people doubt this new vaccine is effective, a controversy is erupting about whether every child in the country actually needs it, whether we really know enough to say the benefits outweigh the risks. Young children are the most vulnerable to serious pneumococcal disease, with 10,000 cases reported each year. But relatively few, only about 200, are actually deadly. The vast majority are treated effectively with antibiotics.
If we're going to require a vaccine, it should be for a disease that is highly contagious, is extremely deadly, and is an epidemic form. This disease does not qualify.
The reason some are urging caution is that nobody knows the long-term side effects of any vaccine. And the few cases where people have started to look, the results have been disturbing. For example, Finland in the mid-1980s. Here, the health service gave children a vaccine made much the same way as the pneumococcal vaccine, then followed their health. By the time the children were 10, those who had received the vaccine had developed diabetes at a significantly higher rate than those not vaccinated.
Published studies showed that when one follows these kids and looks for diseases like diabetes and asthma, that the immunized kids seem to be at an increased risk.
This vaccine should definitely be made available for children who are in poor health, have compromised immune systems, but it should not be required for all children.
While vaccines have saved the lives of millions, some researchers warn that before we add another, we have a better understanding of the risks involved. John McKenzie, ABC News, New York.
Other news, no relationship whatsoever. Consumer spending was up last month. The sale of back-to-school items as well as General Motors cars and trucks after the strike pushed spending up 0.6%. And incomes went up 2.5%, which may also explain some of the spending. On Wall Street today, the Dow Jones Industrials gained 26 points to close at 8,028. On the NASDAQ market, stocks were up 23 points. When we come back, sibling rivalry, East and West Germany, and a leader in trouble.
For the 14 million women who worry about light to moderate bladder control, now there's new Double Protection Compose Panty and Pad system. The Compose Panty and Pad fit together for double protection. There's a super absorbent disposable pad, but the real difference is the separate washable panty. It gives you double protection with a quilted panel that won't let wetness through. So why worry? Get double protection with Double Protection Compose. Protection that goes beyond the pad.
You have to dig deep to find the source of Intrepid's solid feel. Reinforced door openings, strategically placed steel beams, and an isolated suspension cradle all contribute to Intrepid's supple ride. Take away that sturdy foundation and you have, well, nothing. Dodge Intrepid. We're changing everything. Again.
Lease Dodge Intrepid now for just $269 a month.
She was coming home to the jungle, to their untamed love for butter, cut down by cholesterol until...
I can't believe it's not butter.
I can't believe it's not butter. The taste you love without the cholesterol.
How civilized. It hurts so bad. That burning sensation. So I saw my doctor. He said where heartburn hurts most is where Mylanta works fast. All down through here where you want help fast. My doctor said Mylanta.
Savor the summer. Live Maine lobster, specially priced at $14.99. At Red Lobster, the season isn't over.
Taking out your aggressions on your gums? Dentists say 36 million Americans brush too hard. So Mentadent invented ProCare, the only brush that bends like this. To be gentle on gums, it helps to be flexible. Mentadent ProCare.
Overseas today, one of the world's longest-serving political leaders is in the fight of his political life. The German Chancellor Helmut Kohl has been in office since 1982. He's a longtime friend of the United States. There's an election in Germany on Sunday, and Mr. Kohl is in serious trouble. Kohl has often said that his greatest achievement was to reunite East and West Germany after the Berlin Wall came down. Now his greatest achievement may cost him the election. Here's ABC's Jim Wooten.
On the face of it, at a passing glance, the old East Germany looks pretty good these days. But behind the hustle and bustle, just beneath the surface, a different reality. Unemployment is at 20%. And for those who expected more from democracy, the old days, communism, looked better and better. Before, says this fellow, everybody had a job. Actually, he and the others here still do, sort of, rebuilding museum pieces for $500 a month. Part of a $1 billion election year scheme of public employment designed to improve Chancellor Kohl's standing among Easterners. It hasn't helped. Everywhere he campaigns, there's more than music in the air. Young people are especially angry, but almost all Easterners blame him for not doing enough. In the prosperous West, however, Kohl is criticized for doing too much, for adding new taxes and subtracting social services to pay the price of unification. Reducing, for example, free month-long visits to health spas like this one from once every 2 years to once every 4. This woman says she knows the Easterners are now getting better health care than she is. We always cut back. They always get more. If this election has clarified anything, it is that 8 years after unification, this remains a country as divided now as when this old wall kept Germans apart. And Sunday's voting won't change that. Jim Wooten, ABC News, Berlin.
Still overseas in Britain today, the author Salman Rushdie says that right after waking up this morning, he checked the television. He wanted to make sure Iran hadn't changed its decision about disavowing the death penalty imposed on him for supposedly insulting Islam. Rushdie's life is not back to normal. British Airlines says it still will not allow him on its flights because it might compromise the safety of the other passengers. When we come back, the season to remember.
I can tell you about gratitude.
I can tell you about regaining hope.
We could tell you about our National Medical Excellence Program and how it provides our members access to the country's finest medical centers when the treatment they need is not available locally. But they can do it so much better.
I can tell you about never giving up.
We're Aetna U.S. Healthcare, raising the quality of healthcare in America.
Welcome to My Mailboxes, etc. You know, this may look like a regular mailbox, but let me tell you the secret. You get a street address, not just a P.O. box number. That means we can sign for your FedEx shipments and other packages. You get an entire support staff. Where else are you going to be able to call and check your mail? I mean, come on, who's going to do that for you? We'll also forward that mail anywhere in the world. Can your mailbox do that?
You could win $50,000. Play What's in the Box, now at your neighborhood mailboxes, etc.
The forecast, plenty of
Because there's 100 little things to take care of in the morning, 2 of which are hungry. Introducing Kellogg's Breakfast Mates, a bowl of Kellogg's cereal, milk, and spoon all in one. It's one less thing to worry about. Make breakfast easier. Kellogg's Breakfast Mates in the refrigerated section. Because your kids' cartoons start at 5:30 a.m. and you don't. Introducing Kellogg's Breakfast Mates, a bowl of Kellogg's cereal, milk, and spoon all in one. So they can make breakfast anytime. Make breakfast easier. Kellogg's Breakfast Mates in the refrigerated section.
Nobody does it like you.
A revolving brush or 5 rotating brushes, a manual hand tool or 1 powered with 2 more brushes. The choice is easy.
Nobody
Steam Vac Ultra.
does it like you.
The drawing rooms of London had not prepared us for this new world. We were overcome by the very fruits and birds and trees.
Introducing British Classics.
The air was thick with perfume.
A marriage of Victorian elegance and Caribbean soul.
The seduction was complete. It changed us forever.
British Classics from Ethan Allen, where everyone's at home. There's a sale on now.
As most of you know, it's the last weekend of the regular baseball season. We are not surprised they are frustrated in Santo Domingo, not being able to see whether Sammy Sosa will win the season's home run title in the next 2 or 3 days. For baseball fans, it's going to be a great weekend, a fitting finish to a great season. The great home run race of 1998 is not over yet. And what a year it's been for pitching.
He makes the catch! David Wells! David Wells has pitched a perfect game!
Here comes the hook. Got him! 20 strikeouts! He ties the Major League record!
20 strikeouts for 20-year-old Kerry Wood of the Chicago Cubs. The Baltimore Orioles' Cal Ripken finally took a day off after 2,632 consecutive games. As for the teams,
and a line drive, the ball game's over.
The race for the playoffs is going right down to the wire. And the Yankees have already tied the league record for the most wins in one season, 111 set in 1954. What a season. What a season in the majors, that is. But there's more to life than the major leagues. Let's not forget Little League. They have a great season every year. This year, once again, more than 7,500 teams played Little League. That's more than 2.5 million kids in the U.S. alone. And this year, when it came right down to the finals at the Little League World Series in Williamsport, Pennsylvania,
Come on, let's go.
a team from Toms River, New Jersey was there to play one from Kashima, Japan. What a series it was for Chris Cardone. He hit 2 home runs in the championship game. And what a series it was for Todd Frazier. He hit 4 in the series, including the leadoff home run in the final. Yesterday, Chris and Todd were here in New York City. And so we got together for a few minutes in Central Park. We wondered, after all the excitement that they have had this year, what did they think about Mark McGwire and Sammy Sosa? What do you like about McGwire?
I just like how he just stands up there and he's aggressive and how he swings. Hits that ball far. And they're like high and deep and they're like bombs. Great. I just like Sosa because I just like to see him I think it's really hard to come to America to play a game that you can't even go home to your real house at night. You gotta stay in America, and I think that's pretty hard. And he also came from almost like nothing, from like a stick and a ball, and he just loved the game. I like following him because he likes it that much.
When we come back, maybe not McGwire, not Sosa, not Ruth, maybe Josh Gibson.
From now on, embarrassing odor from bladder leakage won't stop me from going where I want to go.
Or doing what I want to do, and it shouldn't stop you.
Introducing A&D personal care products for bladder leakage in soothing dry lotion and cleansing towelettes. It's the first line of products made to capture and eliminate urine odor on contact and soothe irritated skin.
Ordinary lotions or wipes can't do that.
You'll feel fresh, clean, and odor-free all day.
New A&D personal care. A&D as in odor-free.
Enterprise? Hi, I'm at the repair shop. I need to rent a car.
Enterprise will arrange to pick you up,
This is great.
drive you to our place, and get you on your way. Pick Enterprise. We'll pick you up.
Chevy Tahoe with a Vortec engine. The most powerful SUV anywhere.
At Uniroyal, in order to make a point about our new NailGuard tires, we added a few to our test track. NailGuard tires, designed to seal 90% of tread punctures, instantly and permanently. Only from Uniroyal.
On 2020 tonight with Hugh Downs and Barbara Walters. Why did the victims of these hate crimes wind up behind bars themselves? Find out on 2020 tonight. And don't miss Barbara Walters and Diane Sawyer on 2020 Sunday at 9, 8 Central.
Finally this evening, not to be forgotten. In this season of baseball power, with the single-season home run record falling, there have been all sorts of comparisons with the past. Who's the best slugger of all time? McGuire or Ruth? Sammy Sosa, you heard the kids. Hank Aaron? You get different answers from different people, but there is certainly one man who shouldn't be overlooked. Here's ABC's Aaron Brown.
Josh Gibson was a big man with a short swing that made the most memorable sound when bat met ball.
I hear this sound. I got on nothing but my jock.
Buck O'Neil was just coming up when Gibson was in his prime.
I run out on the field, and here's a pretty black sucker with shoulders like that, waist about 34 inches, and swinging that bat's pretty swing. That was Josh Gibson.
Whites called him the Black Babe Ruth. Blacks called Ruth the White Josh Gibson. In 17 years, it said he hit 962 home runs. That's almost 250 more than Ruth hit. And there seems to be a story about each and every one of them. There was the homer over the mountain. The homer right out of Yankee Stadium. Not even the Babe did that. 75 homers one year, 84 in another. It is hard to know where truth ends and myth begins.
They played in Pittsburgh one night, right? And they're supposed to play in Philadelphia that Sunday afternoon.
He hit in Pittsburgh one day this home run, and it never came down. And then a couple days later,
ball came down, and somebody caught it.
And the umpire says, "You're out." Yesterday in Pittsburgh.
What is not a myth is this. He was the best all-round player in the Negro Leagues, a legitimate Hall of Famer, and a symbol for all the others denied their chance to play in the majors. And could they play?
When blacks were finally and begrudgingly led into Major League Baseball in the wake of Jackie Robinson in the National League, they won the MVP 9 out of the next 11 years.
Josh Gibson never got there. He died in January of '47, 4 months before Jackie Robinson broke the color barrier. He was 35. It's hard to compare Josh Gibson to the great power hitters of this era or any era. The Negro Leaguers played an erratic schedule, statistics were kept haphazardly, and time has had a way of increasing the number of home runs he hit and the distance they traveled. But just because we can't know for certain how the record books might read if everyone had been allowed to play, doesn't mean we can't and shouldn't take a moment to wonder. Aaron Brown, ABC News, Kansas City.
That is our report on World News Tonight. Later this evening on 2020, the alarming increase of violence in kids' sports. And on Nightline, is Kenneth Starr obsessed about getting the president as his critics charge? I'm Peter Jennings. We hope you have a good weekend. See you Monday night.
Next week, medicine on the cutting edge. Monday, this incredible holographic heart. It's like a flight simulator for surgeons. On World News Tonight with Peter Jennings. This has been a presentation of ABC News. More Americans get their news from ABC News than from any other source. ABC News.